coming to bring and prepare people for an end time, Jesus, an end time. If we're not ready for the end times, the Bible says, listen, we can go back to the last scripture. He said, I need them to understand to the children and the children to the father, least I come destroy the earth. See, you thought it was just about going to church. No, you thought it was just about your own personal holiness. He's saying there is something about the family structure. There's something about the heart of a father and their children. The people, they're misunderstanding that what I'm doing and why I'm doing the way I'm doing it, it has nothing to do with your personal salvation. It has to do with the interest of generational equity, not only in you, in your generation to come. God doesn't just think about individuals, he thinks generationally. Somebody say generationally. Which means everything that's in you and in your house is coming through generations. I'm not just, when I speak to my son, I'm not speaking to him. I'm speaking to his generation. I'm speaking to his children. I'm speaking to his children's children. I'm speaking to my daughter. I'm not speaking to her. I'm speaking to her womb. I'm speaking to her children and her children's children. You got to realize that everything that you do, you're not doing it only in self-indulgence. You're doing it in towards a generation and the framework in your next generation. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? So I want you to understand the spirit of Elisha. When he talks about the spirit of Elisha, he said, I want them to understand the hearts of the fathers to the children and the children to the fathers. Somebody say family. One of the things that we have misinterpreted, and where I love to start, because this is my vein here, is families. Somebody say families. I love to go to conferences and speak and do this. One thing I'm learning though, if I inspire people to move forward in faith and they don't understand order, that we're still misinterpreting God's divine design. If I provoke you to go further in your purpose, further in your career, further in your money, but I don't help you understand honor and integrity the way God ordered it, I'm causing you to misalign what you're really called to be and become. Because nothing you're going to receive in this life towards your destiny or your purpose is going to be by self. Somebody say impartation. In fact, the Bible calls us to teach a people impartation. And the reason why I'm talking about this, I really wanted to go a different way with relationships. But I spoke at a conference Friday night about impartation. And the Holy Spirit been doing, I cannot get off of that. In fact, last night, I'm going to expose myself. I text my own apostle and say, you know what, I'm sorry, because I realize there's still some unsubmitted things that I do. Listen to me, you can look at me and say, man, you do everything. No. There are some heart issues because of the pain of the past that still I'm not entrusting to him. Come on, I'm going to get you there. Because if you don't and misinterpret impartation that was supposed to come in your house, you will never understand when it comes to his house. Oh, Jesus. I want you to pray while we're talking about this. Because if you don't understand, if you really misappropriate this point right here, you really miss what God is trying to do. That's why he leaves moratoriums on our growth, not because you're not good enough, not because you don't have the right tools, not because you're not gifted. He leaves it there because of your honor mishaps in your life. Somebody say impartation. So God named the family to be the first structure of impart. Turn to the next one for me. The Bible calls us, Revelations, he said we are kings and priests unto God. Somebody say kings and priests. One thing we have to understand is God commissioned parents to indoctrinate your children. You are supposed to raise up your children in the way they should what? Go. Jesus is the prophet, priest, and king to his church. The Father is the prophet, priest and king. The father is the prophet, the priest, king of his family. The prophet guards his home, priest guides his home, and the king governs his home. So what is he supposed to do? Guard, guide, and what? Govern. Say that with me. Guard, guide, and govern. Let's say that again. Guard, guide, and govern. And when you don't have a guard, a guide, and a govern, what you're looking for is a mishap in the family structure. And everything you see in the family structure that's broken, you're always going to find in the church structure that's broken. When you look at the rebellion in the body of Christ, it has nothing to do with what we think it has to do with. It has nothing to do with what we think it has to do with. When you look at the rebellion in the body of Christ, you can tell the temperature of a home. The structure of a church will always define the structure of what's going on in the home. Because if a person don't learn honor and respect in a home, how in the world are they going to honor and respect his house? In fact, a pastor is not a preacher. A deacon not supposed to be preaching until they get their house in order. He said, how in the world you're going to teach the structure and the order that I ordained for you to teach and preach and deliver if you can't even structure your own home? Yeah, I'm going to say it today. We got people, children, and pastors and the deacons' children running all crazy. And while their souls going to hell, we're running trying to build churches and build structures. I'll shut doors down before I allow myself to allow people to stop me from what's important in my house. Because it's the overflow of my house that gets to you. See, we live in this world. We're missing. It's the overflow of what you're already instructing in your house. That's why don't listen to me. I might stop you sometime to correct my children. Why? I need them to understand. And when they understand, now I can bring that on you. Don't be careful trying to submit under people who can't govern their home. I talk to pastors' kids all the time, and it's a shame how we make excuses for them. Yeah, their kids is a mess. Well, how in the world do you think he's going to teach you to lead yours? And watch this. I am not saying they got to be perfect, but there is a structure. The Bible says if you really understand what training means and what indoctrinating means, they will not, watch this, depart from what you have done, which means whatever you're instituting in them, not by only outside arrangements, but inside arrangements. If you listen, I should be able to check you and see if you understand the presence of God. And if you don't, every day after school, we're going to work on it. Forget my schedule. You are my schedule.
Preach. Lord God, speak, Lord, speak, Lord.
Somebody say it harder. So God said the home is the church is supposed to be a church within a church. Somebody say a church within a church. Which means if you don't have church at your home, why are you trying to come here and do it? Oh, Jesus. I got to be careful. I'm at home. I got to be careful still. How in the world you going to try to come have church here and you can't have it at your house? Fathers, I'm not going to be too hard. I love you. Y'all know I love you. I'm going to pull on you this morning. How in the world you think you're going to try to set a temperature in your business, in your, listen, in your church, in your ministry, and you can't set it at your house? The home is a church within a church, which means for me to impact the world, the kingdom within a kingdom, I have to impact my own kingdom. Yes, sir. Pastor, we talking about relationships. Yes, we are.
Yeah. Wow.
Because the reality of it is we don't have relationship problems. We have honor problems. Because where honor is misinstituted, the identity of what was supposed to be imparted will always cause the rebellion to turn into other things. Oh, y'all hear what I'm saying? So God is saying, I want you to understand, Elijah came, he was supposed to turn the hearts of the fathers back to the children, and the hearts of the children back to the fathers, because the father, somebody say father. And you know what? This is so not popular today. People, you understand? Everybody want to be equal today. It's not the truth. Submission is submission. The Bible told the man to love his wife and told the woman to submit. In fact, the Bible says the man is the head. That don't mean by control. That means he understands that he needs to stay headed with Christ, and she will follow based on Christ. I don't know what we're doing today because everybody running their own show. And I understand it. Now, listen to me. This ain't a barrage on you because most people can't teach it the way it needs to be taught. So the family structure for God to say, for what I want when I come back, the way this thing's supposed to be is, I want you to understand father's got to get in order. That's why the devil loves to get after that man. I'm going to say that's why he loved to get after that man. Because if he can get after that man, no matter how happy, how independent that woman is, I will always keep, watch this, a binder, a breakage in the world where the man is not in place. Somebody says, my home. So because submission and honor was supposed to come through the home, impartation was supposed to come through the home. Somebody say impartation. I want to talk about impartation. If you was at the meeting this week, you might have heard it, but you're going to hear it again. You cannot say you have your personal salvation by yourself. You didn't get it by yourself. Somebody's been praying for you. In fact, watch this. It's prideful to say that what you've grown to, you've done it yourself. Do you understand? See, there's impartations that has happened to you. Some grandma was praying for you, mama, and that somebody's praying for you. A preacher, somebody was praying for you. So we got to be careful taking credit for our growth. That's why God said, I want you to be careful about how prideful you get, because it's a gift. I gave it to you. You can't get this by your work. Somebody say it's a gift. So how in the world you keep thinking what you do is what's giving you what you're getting? Why do you keep thinking what you do? And let me show you how God worked with me. See, this morning I was like, God, you know what? I didn't get the prayer, we usually get. He said, I want you to stop that. Listen, you're going to preach and you're going to learn how to lean in faith. Yeah. He said, no, you're not going to slide down that pole. I'm going to teach you how to learn how to walk in faith, but like a son. Yeah. Stand on your 2 front feet. Speak my word. My word is powerful enough. I want you to believe in me. Don't believe in your worship. Don't believe in the belief. I want you to believe in me. See, the problem is we got to learn how to believe in him. So God is trying to instruct the family and says, listen, I want you to help them understand that where there's a broken house, there will always be a broken community. And where there's a broken community, there will always be a broken world. Which means we're so focused on, be careful, Pastor. We always so focused on pigment. We always so focused on careers and opportunity, what people doing, and it has nothing to do with that. If you understand what God instructed you to do in your home, you will always, watch this, prosper out there. If God is before us, why do you keep telling people who's against you? See, it's a mentality dysfunction. If God is before you, don't tell me pigment and people got you stopped. No. When God is with you, no man can stop you. I'm going to say that again. When God is with you, no man can stop you. Stop looking at the color of people's skin. Get out of those conversations. Tell them it's not so. It violates the Bible. Oh, yes, it does. See, people don't want to talk about that. It violates the principle of love. We all bleed red. I don't care. If they do the will of the Father, they are your brothers and sisters. I don't care. You can go who you want to go. I'm walking with Jesus. You can go whichever direction. I'm going with him. Because we run in that thing and we don't realize we're crucifying him. Yes. And we pick Barabbas. And depending on what line you're on, many people look at that different too. But let me come out of that. We're talking about the family. The home is the church within a church. Somebody say it's the home within a church within a church. which means I have to understand what the Spirit of God is doing in me for what's around me. And from that, it produces what I do in the will of God. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So impartation is there to raise you up. You were never called, watch this, to try to design your own purpose. Your father was supposed to prophesy that to you. Turn to the next one for me, please. These are a couple of things that you and your father's supposed to do. Somebody say fathers. And that's not decline mothers. But the priest of the home is supposed to set. Number one, spend time, equates value, express love, open to receive God's love, which means if you're not vulnerable in God's presence, why are you asking your children to know his presence? I must say that one more time. If you can't be vulnerable in their face about God with you, why are you expecting them to be vulnerable about God in front of you? Somebody say vulnerability, which means your father and your mother are supposed to be vulnerable with God in their home. The majority of the problem we're having in the body of Christ is we're not understanding the reason why a lot of times the people in our house run away from God when they leave the house is because the God that you showed them in the house. Y'all all right? This is not a condemnation. See, what we have to stop doing, this is what we have to stop doing. Stop going into condemnation. This is what I want you to understand something. You can't fix what you don't know. The problem with us, we make excuses for people. I just don't. No. It's I can honor you, but I need to know the lines. I honor that you did the best you could, but I need to know what's right and wrong. If I continue to honor and don't say the truth, I'm going to continue to produce what's not the truth. So a man's supposed to speak the word of God. Somebody say, speak the word of God. Speaking the word of God over your children is supposed to give them the identity that they have and they need. Which means if you can't prophesy over your children, but you're trying to prophesy in your church. Oh, Jesus, help me this morning. Help me this morning, God. You're so quick to go prophesy and do all. Listen to me, those in your face need your voice. Because if you don't lead them with your voice, they're going to be led by the voice outside. And we wonder why they pick up easily voices outside because it's not structured inside. If you do not speak, now this goes both ways. Somebody say both ways. Most men think, well, I didn't say anything to them. I didn't say anything wrong, so I'm good. No. Either you instruct them, but even if you don't say nothing to them, that's still wrong. You think you can keep your mouth closed. No. I didn't tell them nothing negative, but you didn't tell them nothing at all. It's still negative. You were called to be the priest and the prophet over your home. You were called not to release the dereliction of duty over your home. You need to be the priest and the prophet and the voice. I told you last time, it is a rebellion, and it's not right to tell a child to find themselves. How many of y'all heard that before? Don't say it, you said it. Just say it, you heard it before. He just needs to find himself. How in the world is he going to find himself? In what? In fact, he probably did, and she probably did find herself. That's why she was where they are. The problem wasn't that they needed to find themselves. The problem was you were supposed to help them internally and prophesy themselves to where they're going. Somebody say prophesy. Are y'all getting this already? Which means, watch this, it is not all your fault of why you don't know where you're going. Generationally, and especially in this culture, we have not addressed what's wrong with the house. We preach on everything, but nobody talking about the house. When the house is what God said, I need the spirit of Elijah to fix before I come. Somebody say change is coming. So impartation is supposed to go from the father to the mother to the child to the the child. When that child grows up, they go from the head to the mother, to the child, to the child. When that child grows up, and the blessing, watch this, the blessing of the Lord rolls over. The generational blessing, not curse. The problem is when parents don't understand generational blessing, they, watch this, they open a door to generational curse.
Come on.
And that rolls over from child to child. That's why Jesus said, I had to roll over 7 generations from child to child based on your rebellion. Now, this is the good thing about what we don't understand about that scripture. Jesus said, I didn't want them to keep it, I'm really rolling it over. Where's it rolling to? The cross. But as it rolls, somebody got to learn how to obey God. And stop obeying generational altars. That's where we're going to get there. We got to learn how to obey God and stop obeying generational altars. I'm sorry you're offended. I honor you, but I got to live from what Jesus come now. I got to follow him. Somebody say, follow Jesus. It's going to be uncomfortable just a little bit, but we're going to get there. Amen. Jesus wants us to understand, I need your children to be honorable towards you, and you need to learn how to honor them. Somebody say importation. That's why, be careful. I'm trying to think you got salvation and all these spiritual gifts on yourself. You got it by impartation. Some of you, I always say, you're growing so fast and you don't realize it. I can tell by what you say now. You didn't realize because you walked in the right door, and based on what you heard or the laying on of hands, now you see, but you didn't. You was like Saul, blind, open eyes but blind. Until you met a man of God that took the scales off of your. Be careful thinking you're getting where you're going by yourself. If you don't understand impartation, that's why dishonor violates a man of God giving you another level up. Submit yourself to leaders. That's what your Bible says. Submit yourself, and in due time you will be what? Which means sometimes it's not even what you're doing. When you're going, watch this, God will accelerate what you don't even understand and what you don't even know because of the impartation of the man of God or the person that is already in that vein. Somebody's impartation. When you understand honor, you receive gifts that you didn't pay for. When you understand honor, you receive revelation. So you've been praying about blessings. You receive more than just a blessing. Because the acceleration, sometimes, watch this, you can reach in the realm they in. That's why God wanted the Father to have realms in the Spirit and understand certain things. And when he sees the Son is prepared and the daughter is prepared, he said, now, son, let me give you the keys to the car. It wasn't about just your age. It was about your maturity spiritually, mentally, emotionally, your character, your conduct, your communication. I understand where you are, and you understand the lines of who he is. Somebody say impartation. Watch this. The problem we're having today, it is not, you're not getting enough message. You're not understanding impartation.
Wow.
And because we kill people along the way that God might be using to bring us to the next level and the next place, that's what Saul did. He was going to kill Christians. He was passing out his business card. Y'all know me. I'm on my way to kill these people. And God stopped him, threw him off his horse or whatever he was on, walking, whatever. And God said, listen, until you meet Ananias, you're not going to see. Sometimes you won't see until you meet the man of God that God has called you to align with. Somebody say, I'm getting in alignment. This is why you were never called to interpret your life by yourself. I don't care what motivational speaker told you how good it's good and they make you make good money. Listen to me. You were never called to align your life by yourself. In fact, it's a danger to try to go in realms in the spirit without protection. What most of us don't understand, the reason why you don't have as much drama as you used to have, it has nothing to do with your prayer life now. It has to do with what you're aligned with. The devil is a legalist, which means he understands jurisdiction. And he knows when you break the law, he knows those doors are wide open. Yes. I'm glad you're so holy, but you're not submitted in your heart. Good. Go ahead. Let me show you how you're not submitted. You see how you talk about the pastor when he leaves? You see how you try to manipulate him with your mind and your talk and your walk and all that stuff. Yeah. See, we all have to get that stuff out of it. I used to do it too. Yeah. Oh, see, he ain't looking right to the end. See, we have judgments and prejudgments and all this stuff. And God said, I don't honor that. You are so still looking at the flesh. I like this pastor because, he sits down and he does it like this. And that has nothing to do with your development. But you understand, I'm not preaching control. I'm trying to help you understand litigation of order and honor. And God is saying the church has gotten too loose and dishonor. We do what we want to do. So people got to run after us. Instead of when you hear the man of God, you say, I honor. No. He's not God, but I honor. Because I know not only what comes with that, watch this, I'm also protected in that. And the children in your house are supposed to. But the spirit of rebellion, watch this, we're going to the next phase. The spirit of rebellion and rejection has gone wild, watch this, because Elijah, somebody say Jezebel. Oh, let's talk about the spirit of Jezebel just for a second. The problem with us, we think Jezebel is just always perversion. It's not only perversion. The spirit of Jezebel came, turn to the next one, I'm going to give you a scripture. It came to stop you from seeing and experiencing the power of God. I'm just reading 1 Kings 19:20. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done. Also, he had executed all the prophets with the sword. Then Jezebel sent for the messenger of Elisha, saying, so let the gods do to me more also if I don't make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow about this time. And when he saw that, he arose and ran for his life and went to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servants there. He did what? Left his servants there. But he himself went a day's journey in the wilderness and came, sat down on a root tree, and he prayed that he might die and said, it is enough. Now, watch this. The Lord take my life. Watch this. For I am no better than my what? I am no better than my what? My what? My what? Which means the king, the priest, the prophet that was supposed to govern him didn't do what he was supposed to do with him. So he was following God by himself. And because God was using him, he got to a point where it got too tough. And he said, God, you know what? I thought I was doing this thing, but I'm a little better than the rest of my fathers. But let me stay in this broken place. Jezebel's spirit to come to stop you from walking in the purposes of life. That spirit of Jezebel came to stop you. Listen to me. Jezebel has nothing to do with women. It has everything to do with the spirit. And in fact, the spirit of Jezebel is running rampant in men today. And we're going to get to that. Jezebel came to stop you, the spirit of Elijah. What did Elijah come to do? Bring the hearts of the what? Fathers back to the children, and the children back to what? When you don't have a prophetic Elijah spirit or understanding of what God really came to ordain, You're going to continue to allow Jezebel to lead and guide. And what Jezebel loves to do is control.
Come on. Very true.
You know why we're running rampant? It's the spirit of Jezebel that's running rampant in the world today. You know how we know? The spirit of control. Elisha was stuck in his mind under control. And when the spirit reigns and keep a person in their minds under control, watch this, they cannot produce what they really need to produce. Now, God told Elijah to train up Elisha to continue on in his journey. Are you hearing what I'm saying? But how many of you know I don't want to stop to train somebody because I quit? I want to make sure that I live out the full potential of who I am totally. Somebody say, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit, don't quit. You're going to cross the bridge. Your parents might have stopped, but you're going to cross it. Somebody say, I'm going to cross it. Your grandparents might have stopped, but you're going to cross it. I will not, watch this, not dishonoring them, but I'm supposed to go. I want my son to go further than I do. I'm supposed to go further. I'm not supposed to cycle in the same stuff, in the same things. I always say this, what parents play with, the children are going to pay with. And if we don't understand that you got to slay the devils in your life so they don't slay their life, you got to understand, I got to come out of this thing. But whether hell and hot water, whether I'm crucified. No. It's one thing, it's about me. But it's another thing you want to give my children. It's another thing you want to give their children. We got to stop this. Somebody said, I got to stop this thing. Yeah. I don't care what I got to do. I don't care what I got to submit. I got to stop this track. Fatherlessness is the root of the bitterness and abandonment of America today. And the good news is God didn't leave you there. Watch this. He said, when your father and your mother abandoned you, forsake you. That's what he means. Abandon you. Watch this. I will take care of you. Somebody say it's taking care of you. Which means, watch this, now that you didn't have that, maybe you didn't have a father that spoke. Some of you didn't have a father at all. Some of them maybe died. Some of them maybe wasn't there. Where your father and your mother forsake you, I will take care of you. Now, what God is saying, although you didn't have them, I'm going to align you in the body correctly, where a father starts to train you, teach you, develop you into where you're supposed to go. But if you don't learn that this man of God is going to love you like a real father, he might tell you the truth and it hurts sometimes, but he's not going to leave you. But the problem is, the danger is you trying to leave him because you don't understand the spirit of rebellion. You know, some of the hardest things as leaders have to deal with is going around the mountain for people who are not ready. You think you're, I want to know what's wrong. You're not ready to hear it. Because sometimes we have things working in us that will draw up. Because watch this. When we have violations in our lives, watch this. There are vows that build walls. Somebody say vows build walls. Come on, say it. Vows build walls. The danger about vows is sometimes you don't even remember you made one, but you made one in your heart. Sometimes, watch this, because your heart failed because of what you don't understand or what you don't know, something that was broken, something that was lost, your heart will fail, and if you're not careful, you will make a vow. I was sharing with my wife, and some of you haven't heard my story. Some of you did when I speak somewhere else. I told my wife I was so vulnerable to women. When I first, in high school, I come from Louisiana. We love hard. That's my neighbor. We love hard. We love really hard, especially we love our women really hard. And when I say hard, we hard. We fight. You know, I had a girlfriend in high school. I used to go, listen to me. If she wanted something, I had money now, y'all. You understand? I had 40 cents lunch. Sometimes it was free. All right? But if she wanted something, I'll go to the vending machine. I'm from New Orleans. Remember, I hustled the 50 cents to 75. I had $3. You want a honey bun, sweetheart? I'm hustling at the vending machine. You got 10 cents, you got 5. Yeah. I made sure she got what she needed and wanted. The love was so expressively until my heart got broken.
Amen. Come on.
It's not always good a freshman trying to date a senior. I used to go with googly eyes in her class, look at the window and say, oh, she's studying so cute. She's just so beautiful. And then she'll look in the window and she'll say, what are you doing? Think about watch this. Think about the innocence of what you're really supposed to be in intimacy with your spouse. Vulnerability at a whole different level. My children right now say, they laugh when me and my wife do certain things. We do it on purpose for them to understand it. They're so ready to get married. I'm like, that's too young. Well, baby, I always tell my daddy, I don't mind her telling me, we are married, sweetheart, till you get married. My son always googly eyes. Yeah, daddy, I'm just praying for my wife. Son, you see? But we teach him the way it's supposed to be, to not get infected the way it is.
Come on.
Because if you allow yourself to get violated by the perversion of relationships today, we live separate. We're in the same house, but we live separately, not vulnerably with each other. It's not real vulnerability. And it has nothing to do, watch this, with us starting per se. It has to do with what we were not instituted in the beginning. What was not imparted in the beginning. Somebody say in the beginning. So what God said, there are things, are y'all getting this? You see where we are? So God is saying, I understand that we have broken homes, broken relationships. But although you didn't have that, if you can lean into me, I'm going to align you so much so with your brothers and sisters and fathers in the body that you're not missing anything. Somebody say, I'm not missing anything. So Jezebel, let's get here. Jezebel understands that if she keeps you out of, watch this, real honor and submission, you will not see, watch this, the manifestation that God really called you to operate in. It had nothing to do with your gift or your disobedience in yourself. It had everything to do with your disobedience in alignment with your leaders. I understand listen to me, there were illegitimate people who do illegitimate things. I do understand that. But we got to get to a place where we don't dishonor honor and we don't dishonor order. I sent a text last night, you know why? Because I had to backtrack. I was studying this. See, sometimes you study stuff and they tell you about sometimes about Jesus. You know, before I can preach it, I stay right here. Because I didn't realize how much I was still in this. Get off the phone, I'm still thinking, well, I still got a family. See, what happened is, watch this. You're putting that on when you was hurt 3 years ago from that pastor that you did everything for. And although your heart is okay that way, you don't realize it's still working somewhere in this way. See, let me tell you something. Sometimes there's depths of us we don't understand yet. Stop thinking you're going to know everything. It won't be a deception if you knew everything. That's why God has to search you. God, I say God, you can't search yourself. God has to search you. That's why I say don't stop when God wants to speak to you. Sometimes I'll be in the kitchen and just something just hit me out of this room. And when I do, I allow myself to go on that thing. Why? Because I say, God, I don't know what this is, but I'm going to let myself go into that thing. Because sometimes God searched the heart and you don't know why that is hurting. But he's trying to get it out of you to heal you from where that comes from. Are y'all hear what I'm saying? And out of that, the anointing produces the power that gets you to free others. Are you hear what I'm saying? So Elisha was called, somebody say Elisha. Elisha was called to tear down altars. Elijah was called to tear down what? Altars. Everybody listen to me. You, listen to this. You never can tear down an altar where you don't have one. Mighty men, listen to me. Sound men, listen to me. You will never tear down familial generational altars where you do not have one. It takes a spiritual altar to alter and tear down a spiritual altar. I wish somebody could get that. Yeah. We don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against what? Principalities and powers, which means generationally, some of us have strongmen in our family, familial lines. Iniquity. Some of you deal with, listen, some of you deal with all kinds of perversions. You don't know what's working in you. It's because grandfather opened the door. You didn't know that. But the perversion is rolling down. And you're like, well, I'm always tempted. Well, I always feel like that has nothing to do with you. It has to do with maybe your dad didn't see it in you or what was in him and nobody stopped it. The way my house runs is I say, honey, we got to pray more for this one. Has nothing to do with her. It has something to do, thank you, has something to do with what could be rolling. Yeah. So what I do, while they sleep in the name of Jesus, I pray that no devil in hell will ever abuse, misuse, neglect this child in the name of Jesus. I place the blood of Jesus right now over her mind, every angel, every clone. I lift her up right now. For her generation, tears come down. Why? What I'm doing is holding the holding pad, and when the devil wants to come in, that angel say, no, no, no. Somebody's been praying for you. Somebody been interceding for you. You got to put it on your children. Don't leave them open for life to take them. The problem with us is we have nobody to really set the way. Yeah. They did to an extent, but there's more in that. Somebody say there's more. You pray over your children. You anoint them. You teach them. Forget this. Put your phone down. Preach. Turn the TV off. Sometimes you ain't got time for that. Listen to me. The devil is active. You ain't got time to be spending time in some certain stuff. Listen to me. That's what's wrong with us. We're so focused. We're so blinded by what's going on in the world that we ain't got time for God because we don't know why we need Him. Yeah. And Jezebel is running rampant, boom, through the church, boom, through people's house, boom, through people's children, because nobody's praying. I do pray. No, you haven't broke through the second level. In fact, you don't even move anything until you get into a certain level of prayer. All right, Jesus. You don't move. I'm going to say it again. You don't move anything until you go somewhere in the spirit into a certain level of prayer. Because sometimes we're still telling God, I'm a child. You know God? And we're so used to, watch this, meeting Him where we met Him, not knowing He's a God that moves. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's good. I'm going to say that we're so used to meeting God where we met Him. So, for instance, you was going through something. And because you really gave all your heart that time, and what you're going through, God came. The problem with trying to meet Him where you met Him is you're not going through that anymore. You moved in another level of faith. So what we do is, because I don't understand this level of faith with you, God, we come back to what we used to go through. And we put on what we went through because we met him there before. We don't know how to move into the next phase and mature in meeting him now because it's uncomfortable in the now. God is saying to you this morning that I am a now God. You do not have to clock back into your old cycles, old patterns, old affections, old relationships, old things. Come on, you can come into the now with me. Somebody say, I'm coming to the now. Come on, say, I'm coming to the now. Come out of your pattern of God, I met you here, you got to meet me. Come on. See, what we think is we can force God to come meet us.
Wow.
One time I was praying, so shot total like God. And see, I know because I deal with the heart. I talk about the heart a lot. I say, God, something is wrong. I'm not breaking through. And he said, you know what the problem is? So you thinking what you're saying is going to get me. And what I'm trying to train the body of Christ is not what you do, it's what I've already done.
Yeah.
And if, get this. If I can get them out of a religious law-based mentality and start praising me for what I've already done. Thank you. What I've already done, they won't have to struggle to try to, watch this, try to go pray. They'll learn how to be prayer. They'll learn how to just jump in. God, I didn't come to try to please you this morning. I came to say thank you because you're already pleased by me. You already pleased because you already done the work. Thank you. What I thank you for is that you love me so much to have access to you. I got that free. I don't have to go through, watch it. I don't got to go to a priest. I don't got to go through nobody. I don't got to go through the pastor. I can meet you right here, right now, as long as I give all of it. Yes. Yeah. Somebody lift your hand and say, thank you, Jesus. Come on. That's a thank God. Thank you. I have access to you and I don't have to live by the law. Woo, and we understood that thing right there. So Jezebel came. I got 2 minutes. Jesus. Jezebel came to stop you from becoming what you were created to become. The biggest thing I can put Jezebel to is this. He said, they love to have a form of godliness. See, the Jezebel spirit always faking stuff. See, the spirit of Jezebel always calls people to try to fake godliness when they don't have to. And what they're really faking is the shame, watch this, under the juniper tree, Elisha, because Jezebel is working on them. There's a spirit perversion. There's no kids in here. Pornography. Those spirits are Jezebelic spirits. Listen, it's not one thing. That's what I'm trying to help y'all understand. This spirit is controlling, is domineering. And it comes to tell yourself what you can stay in. That's why you make vows. And what happens is on your altar have your pain that you keep lifting up. You keep lifting up your pain on the altar. That's what Elijah did. God, I can't do it because of. And the very thing that I called you to tear down is now you're lifting up. I was abused. I was misused. I was neglected. You don't know, my father wasn't there. He abandoned us. So every time God is wanting to get you free, the spirit of Jezebel got you right back here. And what you've done here is you made so many vows. See, when I was brokenhearted in the high school relationship, that set the course of 6 years in my life. I won't even watch this because grace had to cover it. Which means one hurt could set a vow that will cause you exponential time in your life. What have you vowed in your heart that you never trusted him? That's your altar. And if we don't get after the spirit of Jezebel in our life, even in our homes, You say, why? In our homes. Because the roles have been flipped. Men are not taking charge anymore. We listen, watch this, watch this. We depend more on our wives than taking the leadership. Don't tell me it's not spiritual. Men don't have nothing to say anymore. I said, you got to say something. You cannot not say anything. In fact, the reason why women are lost because men are not saying it. They're not even knowing what they're supposed to be doing. And I'm not blaming them because they weren't imparted into who they were supposed to be. So by default, they became responsible for what they don't even understand how to handle. Sometimes I'm scared out of my mind. I don't know what's next, but I got to say something. Because you can't leave them in the dark. Don't tell me you don't need God. How don't you need God? You can't do this in the flesh. That's why families are broken. Yes. Well, we so good because he got a good job. That's so good. But if he misinterprets the spiritual part, y'all still broken. Yeah. That's the problem with some of us. We got paid off. And we never had daddy and father and mother. We didn't have them the way we needed them because we got paid off. We think because we bought them something. They don't need your present. They need you. And you need him. The Jezebel spirit causes people to leave their responsibility up to chance. It's called the dereliction of duty. Which means you come out of your responsibility. And watch this. You give it spiritual language. I'm just praying for them. No. Do you understand this is your responsibility? Turn to the last scripture for me if you can. Jezebel calls slumber. Somebody say slumber. Slumber. Most of us are not so tired in our life because we're just tired. You know, you're tired because of the spirit of Jezebel. I'm always tired. You're not always tired. Listen to me. There's something going on with who you call, where you're called to. And there's a spirit that's stopping you from where you're supposed to be at the moment. You keep thinking, see, sometimes when I'm tired, I'm like, God, this is a different type of tired. I understand the attack.
Yes.
No, this unusual. Not only that I'm tired, my mind is racing.
Yeah.
I said, no, honey, we got to pray. Something is wrong. Because first I'm on track. Now there's something that's causing me to go down.
Yeah.
And then when thoughts are, you know what, I need to slow down, I need to quit, I need to. And then you stop taking responsibility for what you're supposed to.
My goodness.
So good. Wow. Preach.
God called me this morning to deliver this house out of spirits of cycles. Because Jezebel want to take you down.
Wow.
I'm always tired. I'm falling asleep. You're not because vision is being tampered with. When you got vision and purpose, listen to me. It energizes you.
Yeah.
When I know who I am and I know it, you don't stop. Now listen to me. Give me a cup of coffee. We're going. I took it over. I'm back up. Why? Because I see he endured because of what he saw.
Yes. Thank you, Jesus.
He endured because of what he saw. The reason why we're not enduring because Jezebel has closed our eyes and keep us in tears, staying where we are. God said, I want to break it this morning. And this is what we're going to do. The first thing we're going to break it off as men. Because of men don't come out of this spirit of unknowing me. You're supposed to be decisive. Today, men are not decisive. Where are you going? Where your family going? I don't know. How in the world you don't know? You got to know. They need you to know. How much are you praying? None. How can you can't do that. Family, I love you, but you can't do that. You're leaving your family open to anything. The wife is not confused because the devil is out there. She's confused because nobody's standing on the altar.
Wow.
Dealing with those altars. If you don't have an altar, how are you going to deal with spiritual altars? Jezebel had an altar, and she's using it. And if a man don't have an altar in his home, how in the world are you going to tear down when you're not standing?
Jesus. You better preach.
Stop leaving it to her.
Teach.
We need fathers to stand up. And I understand because Jezebel got us like this. I'm like, honey, we just need encouragement. Somebody, I was in Walmart just shopping with my children to take a responsibility. And this guy from high school in a group, he got followed. I'm like, why you keep looking? And I'm tired. I'm serious. I didn't want to shop. I don't like shopping. But I had to take what? Care of responsibility. The kids got to eat. So I got 3 kids. I even had the baby. Y'all know that's trouble when I got babies and everything. Slobbing and everything. And then the other one running. The other one. And so I'm just doing, taking responsibility. And the kid, before I leave, he said, hey, sir. He said, thank you. I said, thank you for what? He said, thank you for being an example. No. Don't. That's not a clap for me. No. It's my responsibility.
Yeah.
Amen.
And you're telling me that you haven't seen a man with his children in the store?
Good.
I started noticing, I don't really see men doing this.
Yeah.
Is it that rare that Jezebel have us? Have we allowed? We stand up with our mouth, but we sitting down in our hearts.
Jesus.
Stop that! You standing up at here, but you lost here.
Teach.
You lost your manhood. You lost what you were supposed to construct. And the reason why women need power movements today, because we are not moving. When I have problems in my relationship, I don't blame my wife. I look in the mirror and say, what are you doing? Are you loving her as Christ loved the church?
That's right.
But you don't understand. No, I understand. He told you to sacrifice yourself as I love her. I died. I took. All right, see. I was there no matter what she did.
That's right. That's right.
Which means he's there no matter what you're doing. So tear up the papers. We're going to get through this. But we don't understand. Because we've allowed the church to be filtered through the world. We make excuses about everything instead of coming to alignment with His word.
That's right.
Turn it up just a little bit. I want to do something tonight. Stand on your feet. It's not night, it's morning. Pastor been moving a lot. The Lord spoke to me and said, son, I want every man to come stand up here for me. And women, I want you to pray. Because we can't get our house